Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are lucky enough to be here for the July 2019 PracticeMaster Virtual User Group meeting from Attorney Computer Systems, where today we are talking about the enhancements that were made very recently to the data file integrity check. Mary Jo is going to talk about those. And the alarm notification enhancements, and of course I'm going to talk about those because I am Mr. Alarm. And so there we have it. Without any further ado, I'm going to hit all the magic buttons that are going to take me out of this thing called PowerPoint. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. And I'm going to leave us here in PracticeMaster, where Mary Jo is going to talk about the data file integrity check.
Myself.
There we go.
So the data file integrity check is going to be where you're already probably running those at the end of every month, I hope. So underneath maintenance and all the programs, we have our data file integrity check that's going to do exactly what it says. I'm sorry, under utilities, not maintenance. It is going to check the integrity of the data. If there's any kind of weird things that have happened since the last time you ran this, maybe you deleted some users and now there's a broken link between the users, or maybe something has changed where you've deleted fields or done some weird things that the data file integrity check can pick up.
Or you've got power outages or all sorts of other things.
There's all kinds of things. So data file integrity checks, again, all programs, PracticeMaster tabs, APGL, Trust. We're talking about PracticeMaster today. When we run these, they've enhanced some of the capabilities of this particular utility. So when we actually run the data file integrity check, I'm just going to run one real quick, well, I don't even have to. We just did one. So it's going to now give you this last complete checkbox over here. This is new. It's going to tell you when the last time it was run, how long it took, and then the results of that. And it also will then give you a log that you can get back into to see what those errors were if you had any. Now, in the past, what would happen is you would have to actually open, you'd start the data file integrity check. It would open a report that you could preview all those errors. But when you closed it, that was it. To get those errors back or to see what they were, if you didn't print it, you had to rerun the data file integrity check to go back and get those. Now the log of your last integrity check is available here. When you click on the view log, it does open up the list of all those errors that you had. The only difference here is if you were in a live view of this, you'd be able to have that drill down capability to be able to log right in, click on this and go right to that particular file and fix it. But because this is just basically storing a quick copy of that particular report, you're just going to be able to see it and print it again if you'd like to, but it's going to save that PDF version of that for you. So now you've got that ability to just view that log. The other thing that's happened is they've sped up the process. Now, if any of you have run this before and it's been a little clunky or draggy, and it depends too on how big your data set is. It could take a while just because of that, but it has been enhanced to speed it up. So even if you were experiencing some of that in the past, it may be much better now. It's going to be much faster. The other thing that they have done is underneath our view and then our log files, we have a support log, and if you've never been in that before, they have all kinds of different things that you can look at in here for certain date ranges, users, and features. For this, if we just leave the date range open, go to specific, and go to data file integrity check, we now actually have a list of the last 5 integrity checks that we have done. And I think I just hit OK instead of preview. So let me preview this. And there they are. So you can see when they were run last, whether you checked the email, who ran it, what the duration was, and I'm going to bump this over just a little bit. Actually, I'm just going to pin my quick clicks over there so we can see our whole screen. And it will actually tell you how many errors there were, all of that. And then on this last one that you have for the 729, this is the last one that we used, you also can view it here. So you can view the log when you're in the data file integrity check screen, or you can view the last one underneath the support log and click on view. And then you also can see the last 4, you get all 5 of the last ones that were run and the times. So if you're looking at this and thinking, I don't even know what a data file integrity check is, do we run these? I don't even know. you can go to that support log and see when the last one was run. And if the last one is run, in 2014, you might want to think, oh, well, maybe we ought to be doing these more often. And you can set somebody to be able to do that. So that's also a good way to see, did I run that last month, or, who's running these, who's responsible for those, that kind of thing.
How often do we run them, Mary Jo? We run them every month?
Yes, we suggest doing it as part of your month end. And so whenever you're doing your month end routine, in all of the programs, there is a data file integrity check, and I would run them in all of the programs. So we're talking about PracticeMaster today. We're looking at that. That is here. So, yeah, take advantage of that. Try it out. See if you've got any errors. If you do, we are always available here to help you with those if you don't know how to correct them. Sometimes it's just a matter of creating the user again that was deleted and marking it inactive instead of deleting it, or just different things. There's a lot of different ways.
Right.
So if you ever get stuck in that, the goal is obviously running a data file integrity check and have it come back with 0 errors. Sometimes that's not quite possible, but most of the time we can correct every single error out there. So.
Right.
Okay.
Now, one thing you talked about, the drill down capability. That's only available when you're running a full scan.
Right.
And as this implies here, that's exclusive. That means everybody's got to be out of the software. But you can also run a limited scan that doesn't give you that drill down capability. It'll take just slightly longer, but people can remain in the software. So it's a good thing to know as well. And the although it's in general it's overall a little bit faster, it's significantly faster in Platinum, because in Platinum it's accelerated. In other words, it's running using the Platinum engine, so it's extremely fast. I mean, we're talking significantly faster than it would have been in the past if you have Platinum, and it's a little bit faster if you don't have Platinum, but a lot faster if you do. Okay, and I'm talking about alarm notification enhancements. So I noticed that I don't have an alarm window, which means I must have closed it. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to go in and pull up I'm just going to go here in my dashboard and add an event for what it thinks is today. This is demo data, so it thinks today is 11/7/14. I'm going to make it a 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. appointment with an alarm of 0 minutes, meaning that it'll go off because it thinks it's past 7 a.m. on the 17th of November in 2014. I'm just going to call this bug test so we know what it is when we get in there. I'm going to save it. This should cause an alarm to pop right up. Once I accept these calendar conflicts for the other tests that we have. And here it is. Here's our new PracticeMaster alarm notification window. 3 things have been done here. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bigger, take the full screen just so you can see. Obviously, that's not how you normally look at it, but it gives me a lot more real estate. We have added the location field. Okay, so if you've got an alarm that pops up and you say, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be in that meeting, which conference room is it? And they've put the name of the conference room and location, you're going to see it. If it pops up on a computer where you're remotely connected, or perhaps you're connected to Tabs Reconnect, and you're sitting in McDonald's eating lunch, and you're like, oh, where was that? Is that at the court reporter's office, or is it the opposing attorney's office? You can see that right there. You don't need to go into the record. Another thing that we've done is and it seems like a little thing, but it's huge, we've added the end time here. It used to just say that it was at 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. It did not say that it lasted an hour. And so what that meant was that you'd then have to drill down into the record if you wanted to know how long this appointment was or wanted to see the end time. That's also, just a little thing, but it really has a big impact. And then the third thing that we've added in the alarm notification window is this e-notify. Now, for those of you who don't know what e-notify is, it's a feature of Platinum. E-notes are just instant messages that you can send from one PracticeMaster user to another in Platinum. They're accessible through Tabs Reconnect when you're on the road. They're accessible through the regular software when you're at your desktop. And they're ways for you to communicate back and forth. E-notify takes that one step further and attaches a record to the instant message. So if I go to e-notify this, you'll notice that what it does is it creates an e-note with the calendar record in question already attached. So I'm going to send this e-note to myself, And I'm going to say, wasn't this canceled? Question mark. And we're not going to worry about the fact that I spelled canceled wrong. I'm going to let that go, even though my anal retentive side is saying I have to correct it. And I'm going to send this, and since I'm sending it to myself, because it thinks I'm logged in as Ron, it's going to pop right up. And so what you end up with on the other end is a note that pops right up on their screen that says whatever you said and has a link to the calendar record in question. Now this function, this eNote and this eNotify, it's been there all along. It's just it has now been added right to the alarm notification window. In the past, you would have had to double-click this, open up the calendar record, and then invoke the eNotify. Now you can simply highlight the alarm in question, click the eNotify button, and ask whoever, whatever it is that you want to ask about that specific event. So to summarize, the three things that we've added here, the location field, to the time date field we've added the end time, and we've added the eNotify button to allow you to pull that particular record up right into an eNote and send it to somebody and ask a question about it. Of course, it's much easier to say, wasn't this canceled, with a link to the record in question, than it is to say, that appointment that was supposed to be today at 7 o'clock for the Jones matter where we were deposing Dr. Smith, that's a lot harder to explain in a note or in an email. So the eNotify is a very useful function. We're just bringing it out to the alarm notification window. That's it. That's it for today, a short VUG. It's 2:17. We've done a good job of keeping our time short. Next month, we're going to talk about protecting a document management in PracticeMaster. In other words, making a document such that nobody else can mess with it. Mary Jo is going to take that topic, and I'm going to talk about reassigning a user ID. It's something that Mary Jo just alluded to, where people go in and they just delete an old user ID, and then all those records are no longer tied to anything, anybody. Reassigning is just a way to make those things that were assigned to that user before go to a new user, whoever has replaced that person. We'll talk about the implications and why you do it, why you don't do it, when you do it, when you don't do it, things like that. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a live event with Attorney Computer Systems if we didn't end it up by taking you to our website, which is www.attorneycomputersystems.com. Notice the emphasis on that last S in the word systems, because without it you won't get to the right place. If I click on the word videos, you'll notice if I hover I'll get a list, but if I click I'll get a bigger list, and that's the only reason I'm clicking. These are our 6 video titles. 4 of them, as you'll note, are live events. 3 of those live events are virtual user group meetings, or what we call VUGs. You are currently in the PracticeMaster VUG. We also have VUGs for tabs 3 and World Docs, and very soon we'll have VUGs for NetDocuments and Cosmolex, which are new products to us because they integrate so tightly with tabs 3 and PracticeMaster, or Cosmolex because it comes from tabs 3. That you're familiar with the concept of a VUG because you're in one right now, and that we just talk about things about that particular product. In my Coffee Pot webinar series, I will bring in somebody from a company that offers a product that enhances the value of or adds value to one of our core products, tabs, PracticeMaster, World Docs, NetDocuments, Cosmolex, one of those 5 core products. And we'll get that person to explain their product, explain how it integrates, explain what the pricing is, talk about the advantages and the value that it adds to PracticeMaster or tabs or whatever it adds value to. And then we get to ask them questions. So those are good. We have one of those recorded each month. And then we have 2 titles that are pre-recorded. Mary Jo has her eBytes video series where she takes something that we think we can explain very quickly that we also think everybody needs to know. So these are 2 or 3 minute videos where we'll take one thing that can be explained, as I said, very quickly, and Mary Jo records one of these each month for tabs, PracticeMaster, and World Docs, and very soon we'll start recording them for Cosmolex and NetDocuments as well. And then for the things that take a little longer to explain, things that maybe are broader in nature or more all-encompassing features, we have our Paul and Mary Jo show, where either I or Mary Jo will take one of those topics and spend longer, 5, 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes on a topic, going into really digging deep and going into the weeds as far as what it does, how it affects other things, and that's what we call the Paul and Mary Jo Show. If we click on any one of these, I'll pick a live one. I'll pick the one we're in now, PracticeMaster. You'll see that at the very top of the page, you have the actual title of the video series. You have a short description of the series in general. And then since it's a live event, this one has a description of what's in store for next month, along with the dates and time, and then a place to register where you can put your the 3 fields that are required: first name, last name, email, and if you want your company name or your firm name. But then as you scroll down, what you'll find is pre-recorded versions of all the other ones we've ever done. Now this one is the one you're in right now, so it's not showing as a pre-recorded or recorded version, but this one here is, these down here are PracticeMaster bugs from past months. And if you scroll to the very bottom, you'll notice that we have 26 pages of PracticeMaster bugs with 5 per page, which, as that implies, there's a lot of stuff here. If you were to count, you would find that we have somewhere between 800 and 900 videos on our site, all dealing with tabs, PracticeMaster World Docs, and an occasional Cosmolex or Net documents as we bring those products into the fold. So there's a lot of content here. You can browse through, as I've just shown you, or you can, at the top, there's a magnifying glass icon. You can click that and type a word or a phrase, and it will search for that word or phrase in the description of all the titles we have and all the description fields and find, hopefully, what you're looking for. Feel free to take advantage of this as much as you want. It's free. It's there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And I think it's just the perfect thing to curl up next to the fire with a glass of wine and a laptop and watch videos. Of course, that's my personal opinion. Everybody have a good rest of the day, good rest of the month, and we will see you in August. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.